So thank you for dropping by again. And it's been another week. And I was kind of not sure this week where I was going to go with the show, whether I was going to get really serious or just, dark humor. And I'm still not sure if I can combine the two, the seriousness with some dark humor thrown in. It's cynical of me because I'm an old man, and as an old man, I have a right to be a curmudgeon and to be as cynical as I damn well want. Let's see what's happened this week. What hasn't happened this week? We don't really know what's actually happened this week because we only see a small, tiny amount of what's actually happened. So this is where the news is kind of directing large masses of people to think that this is what's happening, but what's really happening is probably much worse. Oh, we're threatened now with nuclear war. That's right, just get it over with. No more of this drip, drip, drip of doom. Explode everything. Yeah, go ahead, Vlad. And then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and before you know it, it's a cataclysm. And maybe that would be kinder than what humans are doing to the earth a little at a time. The equivalent of sticking knives in her little by little by little and death by a million cuts, or the big boom thing. Just blow everything up, right? That makes sense. Why is it that the worst, most stupid, most ignorant people are the ones that want to control you? They want to control everything. They want to screw up everything because they are little, small minds that are just planning all their lives for revenge. Sure, that girl didn't date me in 8th grade. I'll fix her clock. I'll become a big guy, and then I'll be able to do what I want. And then, I mean, there's all kinds of crap like that out there, and they always go, I want power, I want power. I mean, throughout history, the ugly people, the horrible people, usually, the sort of fairly normal looking people, they don't have revenge on their mind as much as the really ugly people. And some people's ugliness just shines right out of them, and I'm not even talking about physical attributes. I'm talking about, has anybody seen anybody uglier than Marjorie Taylor Greene? I mean, I'm not talking about her looks even. Yeah, she's kind of, nondescript, but the ugliness that flows, and the same with Ted Cruz, or the same with Pierre Poilievre. I can't even say it because I have to call him Pee-Pee because he wants to do the trickle-down thing, and that's what Pee-Pees do. So please, if you're Canadian, don't give this asshole a shot. Please, learn from other countries' mistakes like the south of us, right? So finally, old man Biden decides to start to move towards the 21st century and issues pardons for anybody that's in jail for marijuana, simple possession, all 3 of them. However, it's a start. Now, perhaps they could send a task force up here to see how happy Canadians are that finally the plant is free. It's just nature, and nature is always good, isn't it? Poison ivy's not good. There's a guy got busted at the border, American guy going south from Canada, and he got busted for smuggling Burmese pythons in his pants. Now, how he got the Burmese pythons into Canada, let alone his pants, is a mystery that this news story just doesn't cover because it doesn't get into any real details. But I can imagine him at the border, and maybe he was just wiggling a little too much, or misplaced one of these things. Anyway, he's in a lot of trouble, as he should be. I don't think I'd like to run into a Burmese python, let alone down my pants. Oh, I could go some nasty places with that story, but this is a family show, right? A family of geriatric old hippies. Hey, here's an idea. Why doesn't somebody open up a retirement home for old hippies? Wouldn't that be cool? You'd have light shows every night and incense burning, and you could have encounter sessions and the love-in down by the virtual beach, and you could take your clothes off and... No, never mind. I just saw a really ugly thing in my head. I was going to say, you know, hippie, naked hippie girls, but senior citizens, well... but it would be a good way to make money, right? You know, spike the punch bowl, have rock bands every Friday night. Psychedelic, man. What if the most powerful force in the world actually is love, but we've never learned how to utilize it? Maybe it's our secret weapon in facing all this disaster that's coming at us from all sides. Maybe it's more powerful than anybody suspects. Maybe if we think real hard, we can stop this rain. Down in Florida, there's a big cleanup underway. And of course, DeSantis used it to model the latest rainwear fashions. Well, old Joe used the F-bomb. The F-bomb. How horrible, supposed to say that, because none of us ever say that. This is pure. Everything's pure. It's the driven snow. And I do mean driven. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to Twitter or why I'm even on there, but I'm on there at Vegematic1. Not allowed to be just Vegematic there. I got to be Vegematic1 because it's the second account that I had. The first account was just Vegematic, and that was okay. But when I canceled it because I was pissed off, and I went back, no, I have to be Vegematic1. So this is the Vegematic1 show now, apparently. But anyway, it's weird because I've got about, I don't know, something like 1,300 followers, which is minuscule, of course, but only one person consistently responds to anything that I tweet. Now, for a while there was a few, but now it's Cindy over at the Revolution Continues. Sane people are considered revolutionaries, communists, anarchists, Antifa, anti-fascist. And what is it? Woke is supposed to be some sort of insult? I don't get that. I don't get that, how this is the right is saying wokeness. I mean, aware, being actually aware of things, unlike the right wing, who are either totally evil or totally ignorant. There's no other way. Please continue to leave your comments, because I need the affirmations in my life. And when I'm feeling down and lonely and empty and my life is going nowhere, I just read the comments and I feel much better. So thank you for all your kind words. They are appreciated. You know what I find incredibly hilarious? A lot of these videos that purport to tell you how to do really well on YouTube and make $1 million just like they did, and they have 489,000 views. So there's 489,000 people that are behind the 489,000 views that are all saying, I can do it if I just follow this simple directions and I send away money to this guy's website. I too can be a YouTube personality. Isn't that exciting, kids? Just send off a few dollars and we'll show you all the algorithmic tricks. It just doesn't happen for 99.999999999 point something. And of course, I suppose, given the amount of traffic on the site, that, well, your dreams are bound to be flushed down the toilet. However, it doesn't have to be that way, because you can still build a connection with other people that share the same values and are just as insane as you are. You know, no matter what your psychosis or neurosis, you can find people to share it on the internet. And this is wonderful because groups of neurotic or crazy people can form and take over the world. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, this internet, because having grown up without internet when they haven't even been conceived of. It was a time when computers filled up an entire room that had to be kept really, really cold. It was these giant UNIVAC things with reel-to-reel tape spinning around so that you could do what maybe a pocket calculator from the dollar store does now. I don't know. I've worked and dreamed very hard to become an old curmudgeon, and I'm damn proud of it. I think you just get cranky when you get old because you've just seen it all, and it's just like, yeah. And you can't get shocked anymore by how shitty things get because they've always gotten shittier. I mean, it's like a built-in rule of nature that things will continue to get shittier and shittier and shittier. So I was fortunate to live in the somewhat less shitty times. But I'm still here, and I'm in the same shitty times as the young people are in the shitty times. But I found the 80s a really shitty time. So, you know, I was obsolete by the 80s. So I can't think of anything else to talk about, so I'm going to have to close it off again for another week. Seems like it takes me a week to come up with 10 minutes worth of video, but I care about you, and that's why I do it. I also didn't get enough attention as a child. Still no new subscribers and no new nothing. Take care, everybody. Look after each other. Try and look after the earth, your little tiny bit of it. Not that it's going to make much of a difference, but you don't have to make things worse. Take care of each other. This fall is going to be a very interesting time in world politics, environmental degradation. It's going to be a really interesting time in war, and it's going to be a really interesting time in depression and rising interest rates, people unable to heat their homes, people unable to buy a home, sleeping on the streets. It's just part of unregulated capitalism, and that's just the way people like Ayn Rand dreamed of. So congratulations to neoliberal economics. You have finally created the living hell that we all, in our hearts, knew you would be able to do. Thank you, and good night.